Yeah. Jeez, that was quick. 3 people watching already. You don't fuck about, boys. Right, today I was supposed to be filing away for a bit of a grant to make an album, but I'll do anything other than what I'm supposed to do. But I will get my sister on, and I'm going to try and get my sister and my dad on at the same time, and that'll be good crack. TQ. Oh! Bear with me now. I'm going to ring back the sister on this old shite. Messenger's after you. And I said to her, we'll get our dad in for the crack as well. And that should be a good laugh, man. That should be a very good laugh. Bear with me now. What the fuck's going on here? So hang on to your hats now. Hang on to your hats. If you're wearing a hat, that is. We'll get the touch. We'll get the touch. Touch me up. What's the fucking caper here, man? She no ringing. She no ringing. See who's in. Beardsman, MEP. How are you getting on? TQ, missed your stream last night. Won't be missing this one. Hey, proper fucking job, man. Proper job, man. Do you know what I mean? Hey. Kenny Jones. Kenny Jones. Kenny Jones. Well, hello, baby boy. What's cracking? Hi, Kenny Jones, mate. Last night was good crack. It was good crack. And hey, I got a good bit of kip as well. I went to sleep watching a video about weird shit in Antarctica, and it's like, what the fuck is going on in Antarctica? Johnny Sullivan, story, hey. I'm going to see what the crack is with me sister, because she's snapping at the heels of a Jack Russell. She's a Rothweiler snapping at the heels of a Jackie Russell. For some reason, it's not ringing off the computer, which is going to be it's going to have a bit of hassle if I'm trying to ring my dad on WhatsApp on the phone simultaneously. Or as the Americans would say, simultaneously. Bear with me now. She's in another call. All right, maybe that was me calling her. For fuck's sake, yeah, she's on the phone. I'm live now. Hurry on, will you? Yeah, so my sister, just to give you a bit of background, if ever you've seen the original episode of Hardy Books, the stuff from the demo we did on Bebo, she's the one who comes out the door with a toddler who, funny enough, the toddler who came out, where she's like, where are you going, the fucking dog? Where are you taking him? Well, basically, that toddler is now my nephew, Connor. Well, he was back then. But he's the guy who played the young Buzz in the last episode, or the last series of Hardy Books, when they were doing the old Flex Higgins job. Yeah, Flex. Where's me fucking snooze? Carl Dempsey just told me that Piers Morgan's son is looking for a gaff in Stockholm. So I got in touch with him over Twitter, and I said, yeah, Spencer Morgan, is it? I said, you literally couldn't meet a better man to give a shout to in Stockholm. Imagine if I just ended up moving in to a gaff with Piers Morgan's son. I'd be like, yeah, you're old lad. He says some fucking controversial shit, but then again, he keeps it fucking safe. Sometimes he's a bit of an annoying cunt, but that's the fucking caper there. Major Kippage says TQ. Kenny Jones. You know what? If you're working at home, man, I would do fuck all, to be quite honest with you. Like, look at me today. I'm supposed to be applying for this grant. Britain's Got Talents after you. It is a shite show, man. It makes me much want to do this. Take the guitar and let me sing a song about Britain's Got Talent. Again, another one of these. Maybe I could just compile an album out of these musings that where the fuck did the pick go? Like, how could it have? But where could that have possibly gone? Well, we'll have to go pick us in Seattle. Someone give me a chord, and I'll start in the chord. Purple trousers on a Wednesday morning. You know it's going to be a good one. Williams got talent, but I would say he's got bigger fish to fry. What a fucking mess that land has turned into. You've got Terry Christian. He used to present the controversial TV show called The Wed with Mark Lamar. David Williams is a weird cunt. Is he a wrong'un? I don't know. Little Britain, it was funny at first and just became fucking creepy. Lick Out Beach said Simon Cowell's plastic automaton face. They'll wheel out a weepy case who just so happens to have talent. But what about all those fucking head cases, man? They just want to do well. I work so hard, Simon. Please, Simon. No. I mean, seriously. No. Not even Terry Christian would get a gig on here, even if he did talk about Brexit. Terry, what happened to you? You used to be pretty cool, but every fucking minute of the waking day, you just pinned your dreams to Brexit. Britain's got talent, alright, but you never know about it, because the game is rigged by lovies trying to take your coin. It's just a collection of homogenized outlet stores, football and X Factor, and food banks in former mining towns. Britain's got austerity. Terry Christian. There you go, that was all off the cuff, man. All off the cuff. Tom Miller's Britain's Got Talent. I Can Eat 2 Harry Ramsden's All You Can Eat challenges. Like, nobody has ever done that before, other than like 100 lads. See if she's answering. Oh, there we go. Alexi Lalas. He looks like me, yeah, the Greek American lad. Fuck's sake, she was supposed to be in for this chatting, like. Come on, I said. Fuck's sake, man. Well, if that's not going to work, I know a man who will answer. Well, he probably won't, but I'll ring him a few times. The OLED. Dad Maloney, his name is. My sister Trisha told me something very funny about my dad. She was saying, like, he once said, and you know what? I'm not even enjoying the pints. Thick bacon strips knows the crack. My dad loves bacon, man. Fucking lives for it.
Hello, Matt.
Ara, here he is. Unseen.
You're right, Daddy.
How are you doing?
Hold on, put this down, Matt. I'll put this down. I'll put Kenny down. I'm looking at Kenny at the news. Okay, now.
Yeah, shite news, is it?
Yes, it's locked down. Well, you don't know what's happened, really. You don't know what the fuck had happened. No, it's just. By the way, how are you?
I'm all right, Dad. I'm doing a live stream on YouTube at the moment, and so I have. You see, the plan was right. I was going to get Patricia on, but whatever the fuck happened to her in the last 20 minutes, she seems to have disappeared. So I'm doing a live stream now on YouTube, and I've got 17 people listening. And I've been saying for a long time that I want to get the main man, the big lad Maloney, on to just so people can hear what a legend you are. And I was going to get Trisha on as well. And I don't know what the fuck happened to her, but basically the two of you and me can have a little chatting if you fancy a bit of that.
Well, I would, Matt. I did that one tune in now.
Fair play to you. I was going to say, Dad, what do you think of all this lockdown shit? Do you reckon it's just an internationalist plan from the World Economic Forum just to smash up small businesses and take more money off the working man?
No, I wouldn't say so. It's back on the rise again, you see, and good God Almighty, stopping the rise. So what the name of Jesus do you do? Like, okay, the pub here now, as from tomorrow, the pubs and clubs and restaurants and licenses are going to be closed at 10 o'clock. You got to be out and gone up the premises.
So tell me this, Dad, if you were in the pub at 5 minutes past 10, would that somehow increase your risk of catching the lurgy?
No, but the thing is, I suppose I can see what they're coming at too. You want to get a few beverages down here, and you tend to not be as careful as you was, just first going in there, for me, this is the thing. Like you wouldn't be as aware. Well, we get false colleges. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. I mean, you're going out to club and pub at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. People, especially you. Okay, they got to have, for me, like, but it does make quite a bit of sense in one way. Speaking,
but you know what, Dad? I mean, like the thing is, like I've been over here in Sweden, as you know, and I tell you, I've been enjoying the loveliest pints.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no one's concerned over here. I mean, and Dad, the pints. You know what I mean? Like ciders, sour beers, stouts, IPAs, APAs, EPAs, lagers, vice beers, shorts, hot ones, cold ones. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
I know that, yeah, but
and they say Sweden has herd immunity now. So they reckon everyone in Sweden now has they've all got herd immunity. So they reckon people are we'll see what the crack is. You wouldn't know. There'll probably be another fucking version of this now. It'll come out and do a load of people in, and then it'll be like, look, we told you all along. It's your own fault for living a life.
That's what I'm thinking myself. That's what I'm thinking myself. Bloody hell. I don't know. It's a fucking terrible shit of a thing, isn't it? Like, when you think about it.
Cunts, huh? I was going to say, how are you doing anyway? How's things? I've been trying to ring you, and I meant to ring you back the other day, but I ended up meeting a lad I used to go training with, and there was pints had then, the crack yourself.
I do. I know the old school like it. What do you mean to enjoy that? But be careful, man. And I see people wear masks over there now. I think it's coming in here now full sprint. I think it's coming in for full. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd make it. I don't know. Would you fancy heading back to Ireland at all for the crack?
Yeah, but Matt, how do you do that? Travel, and all that. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
And that's basically me.
Well, I was thinking about coming over in October. If we can make this woman's not answering the fucking phone. I bloody told her.
I'll give you a shout.
What you saying?
Martin.
Yeah. She said she's going to ring back, Dad. We'll have the because I was thinking it'd be good crack if the three of us had a little chat. It'd be a bit of crack.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to her lately? Have you?
What?
Have you spoken to Trisha lately?
No, I haven't. No, it was quite a few weeks ago since I spoke to her. I'll tell you what, she's no good on the phone at all, is she?
Oh, there's a pair of you in it.
I know, like, she's a bad area there. Like, you can't always get through to her anyway. Like, you can't always get through to, like, the area. Like, the signal.
Yeah.
The signal. And you can't get through to her all the time anyway. Like, there's that point in it, like, too. But anyways, Matt, how's things anyway, laddie? How's things? And what are you up to now?
I was supposed to. There's supposed to be a grant going around Ireland where they give you money to make an album, and I suppose that was my kind of plan for the day, was to get all that paperwork and shit sent off, and if I win the lottery on that one, someone will pay to make an album, and fucking hey, badly needed. Am I right in the wrong?
You're right, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Are you playing much guitar yourself lately?
Pardon?
Are you playing much of the old Macintyre yourself?
No, I don't know or anything like, from back all really. I'd like to, but it's just everybody, like, it's just shit coming now. Every second thing. It's so down and making out. All right, you go and have a few, but you won't get a few cans.
Yeah, a few tinnings.
And the next day, like, bloody hell, you know what I mean?
Would there be a bit of the old the after pints retrospection kind of crack? Is it?
Well, that's the word. You want to put it that way? Yes, you're right. I know, but I put it up. I haven't been out that much. Like, I went out last Monday evening. But I totally enjoyed it, actually.
Did you enjoy the crack? Did you?
Oh, I did, yeah. I only nipped around the corner.
To the Saddle, was it?
The Comic Club.
Yeah.
And it's quite price-wise in there. It's very reasonable. And for me, like, you can take a few whiskies, a few pounds, a bottle, a few whiskies, a few pounds, and a bottle of what's name, and a bottle of a pint bottle of bitter. Gin pea. And that's foolishness.
How much was it for a pint bottle of bitter?
£2 gin pea.
Ooh, that's very reasonable.
My God. And then a double whiskey is $1.95.
Jesus. They're practically giving it away.
Well, they go with it, And,
maybe I should come over to you for a week, and then we'll just go on the beer, and then we'll have a big rear up, and then we'll hug it out.
We'll rear up there. That's my bottle. No, that's your bottle. No, my bottle. That's yeah. But I want to say that. Yeah, that's not bad. And yet you go across the saddle. And it's cheap. I give for an order. There is £3.20. And the longer they get it away high.
Fuck's sake! They must have big windows because they see you coming.
I always be like that anyway. Like, and like a lot of people said, Christ, you can't be millionaires to this, and you've got to be a millionaire to drink in there.
Well, you'd need to remortgage the place if you wanted to go for buying a round for lads.
I know that, yeah. Well, which I don't mind going in and have the odd couple there, like. But as I said, this is about the fifth time, then about the fifth or sixth time that I've been out since last March.
Jeez, you've only been out 5 times.
About 5 or 6 times. Maybe 7. But prediction. Not what I do is I leave it in the latest part of me. Nip up the road and get a few cans.
Yeah.
I might get a half a bottle of whiskey.
Just to take the edge off.
I don't drink it. I just only have a couple of mouthfuls, a couple of doubles or whatever.
A couple of hot ones.
The hot toddies. The hot toddies and the sugar. I'll tell you what, I don't know. These hot toddies, the hot toddies are in my nails now.
Yeah.
Cost me that.
Hey, Dad, I tell you what, Clay Brady here, someone in the live chat, asks you this question. What's your favourite chord progression on a cold Thursday winter's night?
Well, hot toddy. So that's let me have.
Yeah.
Hot. And the thing is, the sugar, either the sugar makes it strong or it makes it weak, and I fucking don't know that.
Hey, it's up for debate anyway.
But it can be very acquiring. So you take it home, because that tastes good. I'll have another one.
Would you not put it, Dad? You know what you should do? You should go down to the health store, right, and get yourself some of this Manuka honey, and make hot ones with Manuka, and that's a very good antiviral, antibacterial, apparently. And it'll make you. It's made with honey from the bees down in New Zealand, and they're on the old. I think it's the tea tree or eucalyptus. But either way, it's very good for you.
It is.
I spoke to Eugene, your younger brother, aka Big Mick, the other day. He was in good form. I told him to give you a ring, but he said, no, Vin, your father, no, he's hard to get a hold of. But I said, you have to ring you a few times.
And this phone of mine works sometime. I'll just say to your mother, and then I'll just slide it over, and it won't work.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And the messages. What your mum was saying to get a new phone. But I swear to God.
Just get yourself. Just go to Cash Converters or one of them and get yourself a second-hand iPhone, Dad, and get someone to set it up for you. Then sure. Then I can ring you for free. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
I know that.
And then Mark Zuckerberg and the boys, they'll know exactly where you are at all times. Then, and they'll use your data and find out what you're at.
All right. Well, that's what you know. But Martin, I swear to God, I've been into this garden. I've been into this garden the last time. I would say a month or two. I haven't been to a bookie shop. I haven't been. Honest to God, Martin. Honest to God, I'm telling the truth.
You haven't put any bets on the horses, no?
No, I haven't done anything at all on the horses. Not a thing.
Jeez.
But I should watch them, like, which I wouldn't have been really good. I was talking to quite a few lads there, and they had the bets, and they just can't win. Like, and I thought, well, you know what's wrong there? I said, lad, you do the wrong horse. But the thing is,
the only winner is the bookie shop, Dad.
It's the bookie shop, yeah.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I stopped the Primrose a quarter ago, and again, it used to have the Primrose. Used to be the landlady in there, and she said, "Video, I don't think in the bookies now at all." I said, "Well, listen," I said, I haven't been out. I've been quite honest. But I don't. It's not to see the bookies either. I like to go in way up the forum and you know what I mean, and not going to put the bet and walk out. What a lot of people do now. Like,
yeah, in and out job.
And in and out job. I know, but and you know, it's step in the dark really. But I like to way up the forum, like, and see what's done previously.
Dun Creeby, did you say?
Huh?
Dun Creeby.
No, I like to weigh up the forum.
All right, yeah. Tell me this. Weighing up the form. Have you been cradling any women in the heat of the night lately?
No. I've been cradled. The only one that cradles me second self.
Lonely nights at sea.
I'd have had too much of the hot toddy that took him out of the crate.
Yeah, nothing worse than a man having to cradle himself in the heat of the night.
I make my happy with the telly on there, and put telly on it. I raise my head up and I put the pillows there, and I thought, what's that now? If I go to sleep, I go to sleep, and if I stay awake, I stay awake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a mate, man. It's a mate. But So it's just out lockdown, like, you know what? Isolation lock. Oh, good God.
So you're 70 now. So does that mean that you have to stay away from the general population, or are you like, I affect a lot of you? I do what I want. You're not telling me what to do with my own life. Is that the crack? Is it?
You're saying that. Say that again.
Is that the crack? You're just like, hey, I'll do my own thing. Don't be telling me what I can and can't do with my life.
Oh no! Just no. The people I do agree with a lot what they say. That
I suppose you have to when you're in that age group.
Even the youngest group. Apparently, I believe that the youngsters now that have picked this up again, according to the on the television here.
Yeah.
They're going out socialising. And as you would do, as I said to you, and after a pint or two, you get from closer and closer talking, and next thing it's back, and somebody coughs, somebody sneezes, and it's like it was on the news here earlier on. A guy that comes from Spain.
Spanish lad.
A
Spanish lad.
No, he wasn't. No. I don't think he was. But he come back from Spain, and you're just supposed to isolate for a fortnight, aren't you?
Yeah.
So anyways, this is the news now. I just want to caught you put it up before your eye. I only just caught the bare end of it. And anyway, he went out, didn't he? And he infected 52 people. He infected
52 people.
That just shows.
Jeez, tonight.
52. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just going to go for a quick slash, Dad. And Trish is going to ring then in a sec. 1 sec. Hold on. Just going for a quick slash. The old coffee will go through you, Dad.
Yeah. Hello, Malcolm.
Hello. The old coffee will go through a man fairly quickly, wouldn't it?
Well, I tell you what, boy. And once you open the seal, like this, they have to stop.
Oh, once the seal has been broken.
Yeah, that big seal been broken. That's your lot, then, boy.
Tell me this. Have you got any funny stories from the 60s? You know, when you were in London and all that.
Oh, Joe, Jesus, I have to think about them. I have to. It's like that one. It's like that one, you know. I think I told you before. Did you read that one? Did you read that? I'm going on that. I just got to calm down a little bit in my own throat, you see. I let it breathe and I just calm down. It's like that one of what happened to the dwarf that ran between a woman's legs.
What happened?
He got a tip across the ear and a flap across the face.
That's brilliant. that was it.
A tip across not a slap, a flap.
Oh man, you're some man. Tell me this. You know when you were a young fella and you're over in London there working away. Did you ever listen to anything like Jimi Hendrix or The Who or Led Zeppelin or any of those lads?
Sure, I didn't.
Yeah. Were you living with a bunch of hippies at one stage in London?
No way. That was all hippies anyway, sure.
Yeah.
They were all hippies. All had long hair anyway.
Would you have shifted any hippies back in the day?
You did what?
Would you would you have done any shifting of hippies back in the day, like?
I thought they come from California.
Californian jobs, was it?
Yeah.
Did-
Well, that's what I thought. And out there someplace like,
Did you go to the big concert there in Hyde Park? Blind Faith and Eric Clapton and the boys.
No. I watched that. That's the thing was. Kids tried to go down there. They didn't get in the hole when you were pressing the stand buckles and every fucking thing. You know, on the way home, the fire buckles and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean, like.
And tell me this: did the police ever pick you up on suspicion of being in the RA? No. There was none of that crack.
No. I said, no way to that at all.
Oh, fair enough. So you were living in Kilburn when you first went there to London, and I mean Willesden Green, then were you?
Willesden Green, Kensby Park, Holloway Road, in this town, Cricklewood. Oh God Almighty.
You know is it the Windmill, the pub there in Cricklewood? That's still open, you know.
Is that still open?
Yeah, and I think the Rose and Crown is still there as well.
And the Rose and Crown, yeah. Oh God, good God, that should some nothing there for you. Some fights should break out there after.
Did you ever have to do any scrapping back in the day, Dad?
Not really. You probably hit him and he hit you harder or whatever.
I'd say you were the kind of fella who you wouldn't go looking for it, like, but if someone came looking for knocking at your door, you'd give them the 1-2 Uniflu combo.
Oh yeah, but I haven't taught back, man. I haven't taught back because when you're young and foolish or whatever, and all mad in the head, I suppose, and whatever.
A few whiskeys.
Mad in the head. The whiskeys and the beer and I don't know, but but everybody was in the same canoe. You know what I mean, like. I'm not boat canoe, very small canoe.
And tell me this: would you ever dish out any Creelans, like?
About it?
Would you ever have to dish out a Creelan or two?
Not really. I was not into the honest outcome of fighting that, but it all started then, and that was it.
Oh, sure. This was the thing. Back in the day, you could have a little tussle, like, and the hands would be shook then, and then pints would be had afterwards. But nowadays, there'd be lads lurking around corners 6 months later.
Oh, no. That's right. That's right.
Bad bastards. There's a lot of bad bastards out these days. Would you say there's a lot of bad bastards?
Well, Martin, it's like this, Martin. It's like this now. I think I prefer the day, but don't get me wrong. There's a lot of youngsters out there that's genuine and down to it. It's only the bad 3% to 5% that you got for what you've been on these heavy roads and all this shit, robbing and mugging and all this stuff. You got to be very careful, like,
Yeah, I should. As my mum would say, no morals, no respect. But do you think England's gone down the tubes in the last 50 years? Like, obviously you've been living there a good while now, and
of course it has. Yeah, of course it has. Well done.
Yeah.
It's gone well down.
Because Wallace used to be a grand spot back in the 80s and 90s and whatnot, but I suppose they've just fucking sent all technology has taken a lot of jobs away, like hod carriers and all that crack, and a lot of the other jobs have just been sent off abroad, like call centers and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of people just sitting around not knowing what the hell to do.
Well, that's it, because man now is coming out that there wasn't the technology taking over, as you said, and that's sadly to say, like, even the office people, the people that used to work in the office, the bank managers and bank staff, they're losing all their jobs, and it's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, I think a job gives you purpose. Like, do you know what I mean? If you start taking jobs away from people, it's like if you go looking for work over here in Sweden. Sometimes you look up a new job, and it's like I don't even understand the title nor the description, and they write these things in such a way where people don't bother applying unless they really know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
And you need some sort of fucking bullshit course for 4 years before you even get looked at.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then if you were too good, you can get the job anyway. That's not the case. And then there's the case in England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. That's the case anyway. And if you're too good.
It's funny, you always told me to take more of an interest in the tools, and at the time I wasn't that interested. But looking back, it's always a handy thing to, like, the carpentry would have been a nice thing to fall back on.
Oh, but yeah, but that's the carpentry would be the best. And you're a pretty good ladder, although, John, I'd say. But
yeah. Well, put it this way: a bit of sawdust and glue, sanded down, would do wonders for any mistakes.
Yeah. But you remember you plastering. I said to you, well, that's a heavy old job. It's a heavy old job, the old plastering. People think it's easy. But my God, I'll tell you what, it's not. It's not. Gee.
You got to be like a boxer when you're doing the plastering. Right. Stevie Kelly does a fair bit of plastering. Do you know Stevie Kelly, the lad who plays cowboy in Hardy Bucks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, himself and his dad Tony, they'd be doing a good bit of plastering.
And is he still at it or what? Is he still at it or?
He's doing bits and pieces, I'd say.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's not very, and it's the dust, and it's the dust and the shit it throws off. When you're in closed spaces, and you got to open the window, and blow the. And I tell you one thing, a lot of the plasters I've noticed now around here is all dead and gone. It must be the dust, and then they go in, have a few pints to get rid of the dust. And it's not the dust must be, there must be a block of concrete down the stomach with all the lungs. All the.
Well, what was the time your man Danny Kennedy? Didn't he die of asbestosis or something?
He did, Danny, yeah.
And how old was he when he died?
He was only 48.
Jesus. It was bad old shite, that asbestos.
Oh, yeah. But he done a job over the post office there for the guy that took over Tree Racecourse years ago, Davis. Davis was his name.
Yeah.
And he bought a couple of post office in Liverpool, and different old pubs and different old buildings.
And they were ripping the asbestos out of it, were they?
And of course, Danny used to go to rip, and you ripped the lot out. You ripped the lot out, and no mats on the nothing. And that's how we got asbestos, wasn't it?
Because you know how they reckon you can't get it out. It's like fibres that get stuck in the lungs, and the lungs actually can't cough it up. And what happens then, the tissue of the lung grows around these fibres, and that's what causes the inflammation of the lungs and the asbestos. Well, it makes you wonder what kind of shite that's out nowadays, that people are saying, oh, it's sound, yeah, you can use that. And then down the line, it's going to cause an awful lot of bother with health. I'm sure, like, the shite that's in food these days as well. You don't know what the hell's in food these days. Everything's pumped with antibiotics. And I think, because you grew up on the farm in Ireland as you were born and raised in Mayo, and, you had great time for the bog, let's say. The sound of the corn crake, and and at least you kind of had a bit of, it was a simple life, but you I suppose you appreciated the bits that you had, like.
I tell you what, the corn crake was very clever bird, honest to God. And you try to sneak up, and be getting louder, your ears would be singing. And my God, he wouldn't be there at all. He could throw his voice, or whatever it's quick.
He was a bit like the grasshopper, was he?
Grasshopper. I tell you what, yeah, but Joe Conquer, The old concrete could hop flash with the grass up. He could throw his voice, you see.
Blessed be the corn crake.
Yeah, the concrete, yeah. Oh, many times myself and Paul there, I remember I went and Kevin, you know, I go on the plant, you know the field before you come up to the mothers there.
Yeah.
On the rise. And you sneak up at night, God Almighty, you know, geez, I got him. I never seen a concrete.
No.
It's really nice trying to think. It wouldn't see him anyway, like, but geez, all of a sudden he'd be way over there.
There's a lad in the chat, Dad. Lick Out Beast says, deep fried corn crake, the Tommy Miller snack box.
Yeah.
Shall I try and get Trisha on, Dad? Will I? I'll try and get Trisha back on the case and see if she's answering now.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's a crude setup, but your feck it'll do the job. Like I'm not that tech savvy, you see. 'Tis a shame in one way. Hello, yes. This woman was supposed to be fecking on the live stream with me. So what the hell happened to her?
It's sometimes to understand you sometimes.
No, you see, I'm trying to ring Patricia as well because she said that she would join us for the chat, like.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was a nice little. Did you ever see the thing I sent you? It was the Vinnie Maloney smash hits, and it was I done a load of. You like that? Didn't I'll show the viewers the thing I did. Let me see.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck! I know where.
I've got it something before here. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, but I did.
Because each one of them has a story behind it. Like, let me have a look.
But great titles,
Great titles. They were the best of titles. So let me see. I'll take a little snapshot of this now, and I'll have to show. Like if I can get the computer technology to my advantage, then I can make it more crack for the viewer. So I'm gonna have to try and focus on that, but I'll have to invest in some new hardware, Dad. Do you know what I mean? Bit of hardware. Tools, like a man needs tools. Do you know what I mean? And as you said yourself, you don't want men waiting around on materials either.
Oh no, because you pay for that, and that's when good commercial stuff.
Especially when it's price work.
Yes, that's weird. They want to be paid, and the stuff them turn up there. The business yard and whatever. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know, you could. You pay the price at the end of the day, and it's so easy, boy. Nothing for you.
Yeah.
Did you get to production yet?
No, I didn't. But Dad, shall I do a recap in the name of? It says Vinnie Maloney. 'Tis a working man I am. Greatest smash hits. So the first one is Ode to the Bog. We've covered that you enjoyed working on the bog as a young fella. That was good crack. Scum Cunts. Do you remember the time when I was about 15 and someone had broken the window on your camper van, and then you came into the house and you said to me, Mum, fuck's sake. And my mum was like, what is it, Vin? What's wrong with you? And then you were like, in a fucking van. And then you go, I'm better off dead. and I kept saying, scum cunts. And I think I got away with saying the word scum cunts in front of you and me mum about 36 times until eventually you went, what the fuck is wrong with you, you daft bastard? So
I'm looking. I have 2 crates of beer. I have 3-4 boxes of beer. That wasn't pitch anyway. Looking up overhits and run much. I think of that as a redneck in this big school before.
Oh well, that was the time. So my sister Patricia, who I'm trying to get on the live stream, herself and Henry her husband got married in 2005, and my dad had his Citroen Berlingo van parked outside the house, and someone had come past and smashed the back window on my dad's van, but there was 2 slabs of John Smith's cans of John Smith's bitter and a couple of bottles of whiskey in there as well. And two Polish lads just so happened to be randomly passing by, and then you just go like this to them, and they were looking at you as if to say, "What the fuck is wrong?" Oh God, Dad! One of the best nights. I mean, you're a great man for at the time. It's fucking hard work, but then looking back, it's some of the funniest shit that ever happened. Like the time the bin men had yourself and Elaine were having a bit of a falling out one night, and then we were settling off to sleep, and then you could hear the bin men down the road at Morton's supermarket taking away the rubbish at about 11 o'clock at night, and you could hear the beep 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 and the sound of bins being rattled around, and then you opened up. No, it wasn't 3 o'clock. It was 11 o'clock at night. And then it wasn't that, Dad. It was barely 11 o'clock at night. But still, it was still an unsociable time to be doing that shite, I suppose. But you opened up the newly installed sash windows, put your head out, and shouted, "Cunts! Cunts! I can't get no sleep!" And then you go outside wearing nothing but a pair of bikini briefs and like a big fleshy triangle with the big shoulders on you, tapering off at the waist, go down. And I could hear your bare feet slapping on the stones outside as you were going down the street. And you could see the bin men were going about the business. And then when they seen you, they fucking scrambled. And Elaine was like this going, "Go down and get him." And then when I looked outside the window, I just seen you there, chilling out, chatting away to them like they were mates for years. And then you casually cruised up the street smoking a cigarette.
With no trousers on.
With no trousers on is right.
I don't know that. But I don't got me fucking nerves. You know, man was tired and what anyway, like, Jesus Christ, you know, but not again. Like, I thought, bit of peace, you know. By the way, oh God, oh yeah, I remember that one. Jesus, man.
And do you know the other thing is Dad, do you remember the time yourself and Elaine, we were doing the footings for the foundations in the back of the house, and it was the underpinning, it was a very laborious, shitty fucking job to be doing, and it all got covered up in the end. But in the middle of that, yourself and Elaine were having a bit of a row. And myself and Henry were out in the back, and we heard a smash. And then we looked up, and there's just a woman's boot lodged in a broken pane of glass. Elaine's shoe. That's one of the... Elaine's shoe is in there. There it is. And then you've got nice pints. Dad, what's your favourite? Nice pints or fast pints? And can you explain the difference to the viewers at home?
Well, Elaine's shoe.
Elaine's shoe is right. It's like the time you got the was it Frosty Jack cider or Hudson River cider it was called back in the day, and it was during the summer, and you were saying lovely shandies, but like it would be basically a pint of cider with a touch of lemonade.
Well, I'll tell you, it did taste beautiful, actually. It did.
It did taste beautiful, especially on a hot summer's day. Do you remember the time, Dad, when we were working on Lavin's shed, and you were on the what were the name of those strong painkillers you had to take for your back? The Dyslogesics, was it?
Oh, just what? I do it.
Oh no, you're on some codeine stuff the doctor had prescribed for your back, but like halfway, it was like during the heat wave in 2006, and then you said to me, "Will I go and get a few tinnings?" So you went down to the shop, and then you bought 12 cans of Carling, and we had them inside the water barrel to keep them cool. And then...
Dickie there was us.
What? Oh, Big Alex the Bricky. I don't know if Big Alex was there on that day, but I remember that you came back from... when we came back, we started tearing into the cans one Friday afternoon, And then I was half pissed doing, labouring on you. And I remember thinking to myself, this is brilliant crack being drunk at work, man. It's a whole new level of crack. And then the next morning, Lavin rang us up and he was bollocking us. And we were coming in on Saturday morning. And you put the phone on to me. And I was like, why are you putting the phone on to me? And you were like, quick, just talk to him. And he went, what the fuck is going on with the wall? You were supposed to be keeping an eye on him. And then when we got there, the wall was supposed to be a straight line, but it was up and down. And as my uncle Martin said, he goes to me, what the fuck were you doing? You were supposed to be keeping an eye on him. And he goes, look at the fucking wall, Vinny. It's up and down like a pair of horse knickers. We had to take the lot down and rebuild it that day. It was a fucking tough one, boys. It was a tough one. Graham Russell wants to know, what do you think of Hardy Bucks? Is it an accurate reflection of your childhood in Mayo?
It's quite a bit of it as a target. Yes, that's good. It's good, Martin. Actually, yes, Martin. It's a pity. It's a pity you carried on a little bit more.
Sure. Eugene was saying that to me the other day. I mean, look, the problem is with Hardy Bucks. There's a couple of the lads who I don't think they're fucking interested anymore, and they're. I haven't spoken to Tordov for about 2.5 years. We don't speak anymore. And it's not me who doesn't speak to him. He just wants to be kind of left alone to do his own thing. I don't know what the hell the crack is with him. But it's a shame because there's a lot of people, and most of us included, that realize the importance of good, honest comedy. And it's really fucking... we should try and get something going again. But who knows which way the world is heading now. I'll try and get this fucking woman back on if she I don't know what the hell the crack is with her as well. I thought it'd be good crack for yourself and herself to have the crack.
Yeah. Well, Matt, it'd be great. But I tell you, of the Hardy Bucks, I tell you, but the golf, that was funny, you and Eugene and the golf and all that. That was a cracking one. That was one of the what's name you made.
Hello. Well, 1 second. 1 second, Dad. Hold on. Connor, is it?
No, it's me.
Oh, all right. Hey, Henry. Guess who's on the phone?
Go on, who's on the phone?
Can you hear him?
Well, I know it's you on the phone.
Yeah, but who's on the other line?
Oh, I don't know. Come on, who?
Introduce yourself there, mystery caller.
This is Henry here. Who's the mystery caller?
Who's speaking here now entirely?
Oh, it's Vincenzo.
How are you doing that?
Hey, Ben.
Is that yourself?
It is myself. Is that
yourself?
So we're doing a live stream, Henry, and we're doing a live stream. So I'm trying to explain to the viewers that myself and my dad were hired by you back in 2001 to do a bit of work on your gaff.
That's correct.
Yeah, I just wanted people in the chat. Can you hear everything all right? Is it Can you hear Henry, Dad?
Yeah, well, barely can hear somewhat, barely.
And can you hear me, Dad, Henry?
I can, yes. I mean, it's quiet, but I can hear you. But I can hear you, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. When was the last time you spoke to the great Maloney?
God, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I don't know. It's nice and hot and sunny. I remember that. Whereas it's not now.
Well, I was thinking I might be over in October. So if we can get me Dad down to you and we can have a little catch-up session, and then I think we should do a live stream where we recant tales and just put that out on this channel, because that'd be good crack.
I think that'd be great fun. Definitely.
We were talking about Henry. I was talking to people there about Elaine's shoe getting stuck in the pane of glass that time.
Yeah, well, there is quite a lot of stories now. There is quite a lot.
Have you any contact for Neil Nolan, the chippy? It'd be good to get in touch with him again.
Oh God, I don't imagine it's too hard to track him down.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
One of the best nights we had, Dad and August Henry, was Brian Conway had got some of this very nice green hash, wherever the hell he got his hands on this stuff. But we were all sitting in one Friday night watching Piranha 2 Flying Fish with Duncan Maitland. And Duncan goes in the middle of it. Oh, this is the bit where the fish comes out and bites your man on the neck. And sure enough, the fish come out and bit your man on the neck.
Hang on, Martin. I remember your father having smoked with Brian Conway, then going upstairs to have a bath, and going into the bath with his pants and socks on, but realised. Coming down the drain. Let's go into the bath. I had my socks and pants on.
Is in the trousers or the jocks?
It's the jocks and his socks. but you couldn't differentiate about what was causing most damage. Was it the poaching or was it Brian Conway's green hash eat? But the combination of the two kind of battered you on a Friday afternoon.
One of the best times, Henry, was when my dad's brother Tom came over with Tony, and we were sitting around one cold Thursday evening in the house, and you poor bastard, you just cooked a whole load of baked macaroni and cheese, and you came down, and my dad goes like this to Tom, we get a few quid for drinks off Henry, and then everyone was chilled and having a good laugh inside the house. And then as soon as you come in, my dad, he just goes into theatrical mode. He's like, for fuck's sake, Henry, look at poor fucking Tom wrapped up in the blanket in this fucking dungeon.
I remember the dungeon. I tell you, you need to read. You need to read Patsy's writing. It's very funny, recounting some of the stories. But yeah. I have to get to pull that out.
Well, here's what I'm going to do, Dad. Trish, is Tricia there, Henry?
She is. I'll hand you over.
Yeah, put a fat because I've been on this will be costing money now. Until
all right. Well, listen. She's right here. Come on, change.
All right, Sean.
Ready? Come down in October. We'll sort out to pick you up or something.
Henry said to come down in October, Dad.
Yes, I see what happened.
Hello?
Hi, Trish. Finally, fucking an hour later.
I've been cleaning out my store cupboards.
Well,
Prepare for Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah.
Armageddon round 2.
You want to get me and my dad in to build some fortifications around the house for you?
That's what I was thinking, yeah. I need a wild beast.
Yeah, my dad's on the other line, Trish.
Oh, can you hear me?
I do.
Can you hear me? How are you, Dad?
Hello, Patricia. Are you all right?
How are you? Isn't Boris Johnson a wanker?
Boris Johnson the wanker, says Tricia.
I tell you one thing. I think he's doing all right, Patricia. I think to disagree a little bit there. He's way better than Cameron would have been. Oh, God, Jesus.
Oh, well, he'd be too busy fucking pigs then, wouldn't he? But like, I reckon, you know what, Dad? They're just deliberately trying to rile people. You know?
Yeah. But Patricia, it's very hard to understand you. But at least Boris Johnson isn't grey like the rest of the Prime Ministers. At least he's got his own hair, unless he's dying. I don't know.
He's got a fine head of hair for a place room.
You respect people for their hair, Dad?
Hey, but look, Dad, what I'll do is I'll let. But before you go, Graham Russell wants to know what is, and he wrote the loveliest pints in Liverpool your dad's gotten.
Hey, well, listen, Dad, I was telling Connor about you yesterday.
Probably the Albert.
When you were moaning about the pants, and you went, what did you say again, Henry? I'm not enjoying this pint at all. He wasn't enjoying it, but he still drank it.
Yeah.
Poor old lad.
Dad, Tricia was telling me earlier on, apparently at one stage you said, and you know what? I'm not even enjoying the pints. It's a sad day when a man can't enjoy a nice pint.
Well, like
But Dad, remember the time you took me down to Chaplin's bar in in fucking Toxteth, and you'd lured me in. You were saying, "I'll take you down to the loveliest place." I'm like, yeah, where's this cultural fucking secret spot around Liverpool?
Where's this cultural den of iniquity?
This cultural den of iniquity. And it turns out it was Chaplin's, one of the roughest. Beardsman MEP says, Kelly's on Smithdown Road have lovely pints.
That's gone. That's 2016.
What, Kelly?
Sorry, say that again, Martin.
Beardsman MEP says, Kelly's on Smithdown Road has lovely pints.
Yeah.
Nice little spot there, eh?
Yeah.
No better than Gracie's and Rathmines, do you remember?
Yeah.
That's because you remember me going in to get him and Neil out.
Do you remember, Dad, Patricia having to come into you in Gracie's and Rathmines one afternoon to get yourself and Neil out of the pub, and she got bored?
That's news to
Yeah,
me.
fucking bored me.
It's news to him, he says.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I was.
Rather inebriated.
Yeah, he'd had a few looseners. Like, do you know what? I joined a music session in there one Friday night about 2 years ago, and they fair play to them. They give me pints and ham sandwiches, the lot. But
Old school.
yeah, old school. It's good crack, man. If any of you are in Dublin and you can go into the pub, I don't know if you can or not. Check out Gracie's and Rathmines on a Friday night. It's a nice, cozy, old school session. Middle-aged lads playing fucking banjos and tracksuits. Listen, Dad, I'm going to let you go, mate, and I'm going to have the crack with Trish, but I'll give you a bell later on or during the week, and I'll get Trish to give you...
Tell Unseen I'll speak to him,
Yeah, Trish said she'll give you a buzz, Dad, later on.
Yeah.
And we'll try and figure something out for October, all right? That'll be a bit of crack then.
All right.
And you know what, Dad? We'll have the loveliest. We'll get you some. We'll do something nice. See you later, Mike and Higgins. All right, Dad. I'll talk to you soon, mate. God bless. Love you. Yeah. 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 Trish, give him a ring back later on, he said. All right, Sunshine. Good luck and have a nice day. Love you too, Dad. Good luck now. Bye, mate. Bye. Bye. Jeez, Trishine. Yeah, it might have been quite difficult for people to hear him. He's gone now. But do you know what I might do, Trish? What I might do now is I'll take you off the computer and then put you on Messenger on the phone. So let me just ring you back in a sec, all right? Yeah. Right. All right. Sorry. Mikey Higgins said, "See you later, Mr. Maloney. All the best." All right. I thought you, not your father. I'm staying. Says he. I'm going to ring you back. 1 second, Trishine. 1 second. Bear with me now. Fucking magic of the internet. The magic of the internet. Hopefully this is a better sound quality.
Nice, yeah.
Right. Now that should be better quality now.
Yeah, lovely that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So how are you getting on, Trish? You're going back to art school tomorrow.
I'm literally preparing for Armageddon again. You know, my Irish family genes are kicking in.
Armageddon job, is it?
I just get a bit panicky that I won't have enough food in the conversation.
You know, the fucking sound on the phone isn't great. Whatever the hell.
I wonder why. What's up with it?
I don't know. But the fucking speakers are probably full up with gack. See if I have an old toothpick I can empty out the chambers with.
I'm just gonna go on a bike ride in about half an hour.
Yeah, I've got shite to do as well. But
it keeps me as sane as I can possibly be.
Getting out for an old bike ride. That's good for the soul. I might, if I get the chance, I might take the dog for a run. Poor bastard.
When would it be coming over for an hour?
I might come over in mid-October or around the 11th. I'll see what the crack is yet.
That's the mother-in-law's birthday.
Yes.
We'll see what she'll get you.
Oh, she might get me a nice pair of Sergio Tacchini tracksuits.
Tacchini, yeah. Fucking love them, the boss. Do you remember Kappa trousers? Do you remember the Kappa?
I'm going to get a pair of those Kappa button-down pants.
Tell you what, do you remember Farah?
Farah slacks.
Yeah, I remember them.
I'll do, mate.
Them.
They're as trendy as you want.
Good with a mullet.
Farah and the mullet. There was a fella from Tune known as the Mullet, and he was a handball player.
That takes me back to me scally days.
Yeah, Farah slacks. So Purple Aki is right. What do you think about what do you think of Boris Johnson? All these fucking clowns, man. Are they gaslighting the public or what?
That's exactly what they're doing. Fucking gaslighting cunts.
Yeah. Mikey Higgins talks about Giorgio Armini and Calvin classics. I remember my mum went to Stanley Dot Market and brought me back a load of Giorgio and Calvin classics.
I love that, Calvin classics.
Yeah, and written in the same font as well.
You know, just from a food perspective, because I'm getting a bit worried about, famine again. Remember Netto?
NETTO, Netto is the place to go.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, with the big yellow bags.
You know, the thing is, like, the black and white is usually like a warning sign, so it's instantly off-putting as a brand. But apparently, Netto in Denmark is like a proper like supermarket chain. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Danish just don't do chavvy, do they?
Nah, they're all loaded, the Danes.
Yeah, you see, they didn't grow up in Wallasey.
Nah, they didn't. They weren't eating Gilroy's crisps from Netto. Like my school, it's a quite materialistic society. Is Wallasey, and I remember my mum had gave me some Gilroy's crisps to bring in for the lunch for the snack break in the middle of the morning break, and Mally Kelly and a few of the lads seen me eating these Gilroy's crisps and were like, ha ha ha, his ma shops at Netto. Which used to be a Safeway back in the day.
Like what was considered then really posh was the Asda.
Oh, Asda on CV Road, man. That was big.
So you used to stick the Netto bags into an Asda bag. And you just fucking take the stuff out of the Netto bag and put it in the Asda bag. You know?
Double bagging.
No logic.
Nah.
At all.
How's life down? Your Mikey Higgins writes, oh my God, Safeway remembers Quick Save. No frills at Quick Save, man. No frills bread was like about 7p a loaf.
Do you know what though? I used to love the cheese balls from Quick Save, those little crisps, those no frills crisps.
Yeah, I remember you used to.
From the quickie.
And John Kennedy said Quick Save had a great booze section. What was it? Liquor Saver, wasn't it? Do yourself a favor, shop at Liquor Saver.
Liquor Saver.
Yeah. So
I don't think you get away with that now, would you?
No, you wouldn't. What? You know your man Terry Christian from Graham Russell said she's more Scouse than you, Martin. She spent time living in Toxteth.
Not all the time, in the Cotswold parts.
Yeah, she has to put on a posh accent when she's knocking around the Cotswolds.
No, seriously, because people do. Yeah, no, people get a bit suspect.
Yeah.
Around these parts.
Yeah, you have to keep your stiff upper lip like this and talk. Oh yes, I work in the art. I'm an art dealer.
In fact, I was listening to Connor yesterday. They're all at these we were invited to a really exclusive festival at the weekend where the conversation goes, yeah, darling, as an ayahuasca retreat at the weekend. Fantastic, amazing. Ibiza, great, darling. Pass another line, would you?
Pass another line.
The whole time, darling, they're getting in touch with themselves in India. And, yeah, great. Darling, have you got any cats?
Yeah, I've got some DMT coming in later on. It's going to be well magic.
What was that?
I've got some DMT coming in a vape later on. It's going to be well magic.
I know one guy actually makes his own. Yeah.
I know one guy who makes his own DMT. Yeah, he brews it from ayahuasca herbs, shipped in from a shaman he knows in the Amazon.
Yeah. Another guy I know he has a thing on him all the time. There's mushroom liquid, and it's totally off his head. Great friend of mine.
Mushroom liquid.
Proper good stuff, actually.
Is it?
Not that I know. so I've been told.
Hey, tell me this: did you ever meet Jeremy Clarkson's wife?
Am I allowed to say that? Mm-hmm. Well,
Trish.
Is she nice?
I don't know. She was on Dragon's Den once, pitching Big O olives, but she kind of reminded me a bit of yourself in that kind of way. She didn't give a fuck. But then when I Googled who she was, I figured out it was Jeremy Clarkson's wife, and I was like, she had nothing left to lose anyway, or she had nothing to lose. Jeremy Clarkson. Do you ever see him knocking around?
So I do see Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen quite a lot.
Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen. I was trying to think of his name the other day.
Oh man, what a twat. But you see him around a bit. Who else do I see? Oh, Nick Knowles. You know, the guy who, like, helps poor people in council houses and makes their houses look like, well, probably the same as it did before.
Trish, is Kay's Good Cooking still going on YouTube?
Oh, do you know, I haven't seen her in ages. That was fucking brilliant, that, wasn't it?
I'm gonna have to put a little link for the for the viewers.
Hang on, what the hell are we talking about? That was our childhood.
Nah, it wasn't that bad, Trish.
Oh no, come on.
No, I mean, no.
Meatballs. How about the ham? How about the spam sandwich that Elaine made for me dad with onion?
Yeah, but that's not, that wasn't my mum's cooking. My mum was pretty.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah, she had.
Yeah, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. Take it back.
So I'm gonna put a link in for the.
Hi people, and I'm back.
Hello, it's me. It's Kay with some good cooking. Check this out later on after you've finished watching this. We've got 10 viewers watching, Trish. I think it's probably the lo-fi, having to listen to someone through a phone is quite grating on people's vibes. But those who are listening are absolute devout listeners, and they're all sound.
God loves them.
Yeah. So we got 10 people listening.
You've got your little entourage, you know, like that film, Ed Wood. Watch that.
Ed Wood, yeah. Plan 9 from outer space.
Yeah, love that film. But Henry says that, you know, you can guarantee I'll always have a little entourage of reprobates.
What, like stateside? Do you remember the time when you got stateside to put on that thong, the crotchless?
No, I didn't get him to put it on. That was all compliance from his own wishes. He wanted to do it, and they were They were what were they?
They were crotchless thong.
By a hen party, apparently.
Yeah. But you remember when he put his left leg into it, he snapped?
He was sat outside the gateway, and I got in the cab, sat in front of the cab, and the driver took a look at the stateside. He was quite an anomaly anyway. And then he puts his fucking pants over his face, and he looked deranged. And then the cab driver was just like, he was still for about 5 minutes and went, "What kind of a cunt is that?" I myself and Mary Lavin absolutely pissed ourselves laughing, and he didn't move with these fucking crotchless pants on his face.
Do you remember then he was going around humping couches?
The taxi driver wasn't going to let him in.
Do you remember he was running around then humping the couch in the gateway? And then Tordorf turns to me and he goes, "Martin, we've put that fucking lad on TV, him." And then all you could hear him was stateside in the background going, "Oh!"
Yes. Didn't he have sex with his cousin?
There
was some mention of that, yes, like that time. Anyway, actually, look, it probably did. Lucky lad. Does he have a bird now in the Philippines or something?
Yeah, he has another one apparently.
How much did that cost?
Don't know. He's wiring a few quid. Apparently, he had to send some money for. She owns a restaurant now, and she sent some money for. He sent her money for a refrigerator, and he owns half of the business.
That old chestnut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's very hot here. Very hot. I need fridge.
Yeah. So
I'll try that one.
Apparently, he's bought her a quad bike.
A quad bike.
Yeah.
What for? Fucking go, man. No, I'm not gonna say something. I won't say that.
No, well, I just made the quad bike bit up just for the crack, like. So, what's the story with this? Are they're locking down England again? Are they?
Yeah, they are the fuckers.
What do you think about Ian Brown? Trish.
Yeah, but
Zuckerberg has interrupted the call.
The tone, the flavour of the conversation. Yeah, I do think he's a clone. That guy.
Who? Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
He looks like a very, very weird dude, man.
He does. Yeah.
He's like Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Not logical.
I reckon he's gone off planet. Real one.
Do you reckon there's some sort of interdimensional porthole that they've made in CERN?
Trust me, you know what? I would consider myself fairly imaginative. But the stunts these fuckers have been pulling over the past 6 months, and this is only the beginning. Wait till you see the full.
Wait till you see what? Typical. When it gets to a nice juicy bit, the fucking.
Project Bluebeam.
Oh, yeah, Project Bluebeam. Yeah, that's as old as the hills. That one.
That is the next thing that's going to happen. Nothing would surprise me.
Yeah, well, it seems like they're kind of creeping towards this disclosure angle, and then before we know it, it'll be, oh, we've all got to pull together. We're all in the same boat, and these aliens want to take your more of your money. So
another lovely bit of gaslighting.
Yeah, a lovely bit of gaslighting. It'll probably turn out that the alien invasion will somehow be our fault, and we need to pay more taxes to stop the invasion. And that our behaviour is.
Didn't Boris say as much yesterday? That's our fault for not staying at home and he's out to help. They're fucking paying 10 quid in August, paying 10 quid, begging people to go out. Now they're fucking buying you 10 grand. If you do go out, what? Is that not gaslighting? That's the absolute definition of it.
Yeah, it sounds like gaslighting because people can't get a grip on the narrative. And anyone who is talking sense about this, doctors and virologists, and
they're just deplatformed or cancelled.
Yeah, and there's an awful lot of fucking daft bastards out there who are giving Ian Brown shit. I mean, at the end of the day, all the man is doing is trying to look out for humanity, and then you get these people going, "What about all the people that died?"
Listen, don't you just know we've fucking reached peak stupidity when people are listening to Jedward over bloody Ian Brown?
Yeah.
You know, fucking Jedward. Oh my God, two little fucking prawn heads. I've never in my life despaired of humanity as much as when I saw those little shits, and people fucking following them are plenty now because, you know, I can't cope. Alright, okay. I'll just eat another crevasse.
Yeah, and they probably have Simon Cowell, fucking big pants. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like throwing Simon Cowell's name into the conversation.
Yeah, but you know, look,
Mikey Higgins says prawn heads. Yes. Do you know, Trish? You really should. You really should get onto Twitter. Do you know what? Yeah, I mean, like, we need people like you because.
No, you fucking don't.
Well, you do.
I find it hard to stay out of the pub at the moment.
Yeah, but the great thing about you, Trish, is you literally don't give a fuck. And whereas I'd be a bit like, got to watch me P's and Q's, where you would come out and just all guns blazing, and people would melt away. In you know, you'd have such great responses. Daniel Hertzler from Alaska says Twitter is a bad scene. Lots of soft cunts.
I agree, totally agree. I wouldn't go on Twitter. It's a platform for knobs, and actually
a platform for knobs.
They don't. But the thing is, all they do is unless you're singing a narrative that they want to hear. So it's an echo chamber. I can't be fucking arsed.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny. Terry Christian of The Word. I don't know what his whole thing is. He just keeps talking about Brexit all the time. Like that's.
He's stuck in the 80s, that boy, anyway.
Yeah. But like, he put up a thing yesterday, Trish, of a load of people like sleeping in an air raid shelter, and the caption was, "If this was," oh, you seen it? Did you? And I wrote to him. I said, you can't really compare targeted civilian areas from an international war with a very ambiguous virus that keeps changing all the time. And then he goes, all right, fair point. Maybe I'll talk about Brexiteers when the bombs start dropping. And I felt like saying,
oh, for fuck's sake. Do you know what? He's deluded. He's on crack. You know what the thing is? You know,
sorry, I lost you there, Trish.
Or, in fact, you know, so I said it's an amazing virus that will only come out after 10 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah. So Noel Gallagher was getting a load of shit, and Van Morrison, I seen like a thread, I think it was like a AFP, some news outlet said about Van Morrison had written a load of anti-lockdown songs. And then there was people going, I played Van Morrison at my husband's funeral. I'm so disappointed. And then some American lad saying, I'm going to throw away all of his CDs.
Yeah, like he really gives a shit. You've already fucking paid for them, fool. What an absolute knobhead. But you know what, as well? It's like, well, do you know what? Actually, if I was him, I'd say, I don't want you fucking buying my music.
Yeah.
You know? Look at it that way. Oh, my God. You know what? It's the real knuckle draggers, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ones that are desperate to be told, because they just live in total fear. That's what the problem is, no?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, rolling news, you know...
See what Enemy said as well yesterday?
Enemy?
They're calling them the red pill rock.
Yeah?
Yeah. So basically, Enemy, the Tarquins, the guys who, had a really nice middle class background and all that.
Yeah, the music journalist.
And who sort of pretend to be down with the cool kids. And they're the ones, now siding with fucking Jedward and, Bessie from Morrison's.
Yeah. Well.
Really, ask yourself this. Do you really think a piece of cloth, right, that your auntie's made, okay, nice little designs on the front, really fucking cover it? If they were so... My only point is, if it was so contagious, then there would have to be biohazard bins to put the gloves and the masks in when you finish with them.
True.
Okay?
That's very true.
Right,
Oh, she's gone again. What was the crack with Darren Tilgram? Sorry, what'd you say, Trish?
Today. And I was today, and thankfully the tractor that was spraying all the pesticides was a good distance away. But I noticed, so you can see, even from a good distance, the boom sprayer with all the pesticides coming out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why is it that... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So basically, why is it that these farmers are in these really serious, they're very advanced cabins that have all these carbon filters? And it's like, so you have a carbon filter, and yet I can see the particulates coming out of this boom sprayer, and yet you're saying to me, if the masks really worked, well, why can't they just fucking wear one of the surgical masks? Do you get my point?
Yeah. But sure, a lot of these masks are now written on the back of them, does not prevent COVID-19. I mean, it says it. I think the whole mask thing, Trish.
They're covering their asses legally. That's why.
Ross O'Lalia said, you've got a good point, in fairness. The thing is as well, Trish, right? I think that a lot of very wealthy people have invested serious amounts of money in PPE stocks. And what they're going to do is... Oh, you do know someone who has, and you probably do in that area as well. So I think, you know what I think is going to happen, Trish? I think before they announce the masks are finished with, they'll short all their stocks. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, it turns out the evidence for masks, you don't need them anymore. And then boom, Zuckerberg and fucking Gates and all these guys will just pull it.
Once you start waking up to one thing, you start waking up to everything.
Well, you do, because look, I think one of the biggest, or two of the, well, if you take central banking out of it, and then you take out the likes of Bayer and Monsanto, who are fucking up the food and all that kind of crack.
Without starting to get into a serious topic, but we are moving into a technocracy, and what's happening is we are moving from our fiat currency and all that, if it's that even at the moment.
Oh, is it the big global reset the World Economic Forum are talking about?
It's a big global reset, and it's digital. And do you really think that central banks would have allowed Bitcoin and all the other digital currency to happen if they didn't have an agenda for the future? There's no bloody way. We all know banks control everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's going to happen? We are moving into a digital age and a digital currency. Look, we're nearly cashless now in the back of this. Brilliant. Fantastic. Great. So, and there's going to, honestly, I mean, it's like the most dystopian thing that you could possibly imagine. It's like, all these films that sort of depict, your livelihood's being turned off because, you have a dissenting political view or whatever it might be. And on it goes, but people can't see it because they don't want to see it.
Well, that's normalcy bias, really, isn't it? I mean, people don't want to. People don't want to. What would you prefer, Trish? Would you prefer comforting lies or uncomfortable truths?
I think you've either got that sort of mindset, which is slightly more. I hate to use the word critical thinking because I think it's been bandied around too much, but you are either.
She's gone again.
I say the people who sit comfortably with comfortable lies have a certain mindset, have a hive mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's either you think that way or you don't. So unfortunately, I mean, you know what? If I could get back into the Matrix, I'd go like, yeah, make me be as thick as shit where I don't think about things.
Yeah, I think once you take an interest in what's going on behind the scenes and you see a pattern emerging, and then there's certain things you just can't fucking go back on once you know, and it's and then people who haven't or are yet to inform themselves about the true nature of how the world works. They don't want. Some people, there's a lot of people out there who they're like, yeah, I get it, but I don't want to get it.
When I understand that, I absolutely don't. See, well, my dear husband would be slightly of that ilk. You know, he totally sees it, but it's like, okay, I don't mind knowing about it, but only if there's an option and I can do something about it.
In some ways, to sum it up in a kind of in a metaphorical sense, it's almost like there's an asteroid heading towards the Earth, right? And people, you can see it in the distance. It's a bit like that Simpsons episode where the asteroid was getting closer and closer, and people can see it on the horizon, and they're going, yeah, it'll be all right, it'll be grand, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and then you try and tell people about the asteroid, and it's like, no.
It's cognitive dissonance, isn't it? You can't. Your brain strives for harmony and balance. You know, sometimes people just can't. They don't want to let it into their conscious. And you know what? And I'm not critical of it in the slightest. I really understand it. But at the same time, you know, like humanity has to wake up. You know, there's something far bigger going on here. And again, you know, I don't want to sound like bloody David Icke, but like I had a real existential crisis the other day. I was saying to the better half that, you know, genuinely when you start to, because I always thought, you know, I'd definitely be one of those people who'd be like, you know, a bit hippy dippy for the earth, organic, this, that, and the other. And then I was thinking about doing art, and I was like, you know, I'm really struggling because I need to be in the world as an artist. I need to be out there and need to be amongst people. I want to document what's going on in the world, and I learn so much more when I'm in a crowd of people. And what I loved about the arty thing was, you know, you've got exhibitions, you've got the lovely social side of it. And I thought for the first time ever, and this is coming from me, I was like, well, you know what? I can understand why people would just go and have a vaccination if it meant that they have that freedom.
Yeah, well, I think that's the plan.
And I wouldn't do it because it goes against every fundamental principle of mine. But at the same time, I understand why, for an easier life, that they can carry on as normal.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it, and I say I'm never critical of, you know, people's choices, but I understand why we are where we are. We're lazy. I mean, fundamentally, you know, we just want to live a comfortable life in as much, you know, we don't want to be cold, we don't want to be hot, you know, do you know what I mean?
I suppose, and in fairness as well, Trish, when you think about it, like people in the Western world for the past 50 years have enjoyed a life of convenience and comfort, and you know, it has. I mean, all you need to do is go camping for a few days to realize that, you know, you can die of exposure if you don't know how to make a fire. You know,
I'm just having my really, really healthy lunch of crevettes, and now I'm having a giant Whatsit full of MSG and genetically modified corn. That's balance for you.
Sometimes you just got to fucking binge it out, as Pete Castle would say. But well, I'm probably gonna have to wrap it up now in a few minutes, Trish. But I think maybe if you want to do a podcast with me again, because the other podcast we did is up on Hardy Books Patreon page. But I just thought if I there was, obviously we're talking about a lot of the shit that's going on in the world, and
hard not to, isn't it?
It is hard not to. But it's either you're interested in it or you're not. And I think a lot of people didn't really have the time to ponder such things because they're so busy paying tax and fucking working, and providing for kids, and they just didn't have the time. And I think a lot of people, when all the lockdown stuff happened, they had time to look into this. Like, there's a guy I know over here who's like, he owns a very well-known business in Sweden, and he's an English lad who he got into this about 5 months ago, and now, and then yesterday he sends me a message talking about insectoids and reptilians, and I'm like, oh, brilliant, man.
But I was speaking to a Dutch guy before, and he said that in Holland they didn't really have a full-on lockdown like here or Ireland, and or Sweden. Oh, no, sorry, like what I mean is here in Ireland, it was pretty bloody severe. In fact, Ireland was probably worse initially than here.
Yeah, it is.
And he said, like, Holland and Sweden been fairly relaxed. They've kind of let people, judge for themselves, really use their own common sense. So he was saying that what's really interesting is if you look at the people that have been really affected, of course it's going to be youngsters, because again they need to be in the world. They have a wider circle of friends. But he said the interesting thing that's come out of it is how family bonds have developed and more sort of intimate social groups have developed and strengthened. So it's quite interesting because initially throughout all this I was thinking, they want to decimate communities. They want to, kill off what's really good about humanity, which is, that
social
community spirit. And
community. Yeah, absolutely.
But ironically, it may just reinforce that need for people and closeness as human beings.
Well,
maybe.
I think people definitely need to go back to forming reliable communities. And as this lad Daniel Hertzler, he's watching from Alaska at the moment, and he was saying it's true. He's taken quite a few folks to the wilderness, and you'd be surprised how helpless they are when it comes to building a fire with a lighter and tinder. Even can't do it. And that's one of your basic survivals when you're out in the wilderness is you need heat, and that's what's going to save your life. And people can't. Even myself, when I like,
Well, do this is what I want to do. I want to get kids into archery and stuff like that. I was talking to our good friend Raz about it, and he was saying in parts of Sweden that the moose, for example, is so fresh that you can even eat it raw.
Yeah.
That's all they do. So we've lost. So this is what fucks me off, okay? They've pushed us into a system that you're no longer in touch with the earth. You're no longer in touch with. Oh,
we're completely removed from it.
Everything. What's that?
We're completely removed from the natural existence of human.
Not of our own making.
Yeah, I know it's not.
Not of our choice or our making.
How many botanic remedies that people use for years are now being banned? And I mean, like,
what was that called? The alimentarius? Was it the alimentarius code, or there's something like that the EU brought in, where they reduced all the strength of these herbal medicines?
Oh yeah.
There's something code, the alimentarius.
They did the same thing with St. John's Wort as well. They took that was a natural antidepressant apparently, and they banned that.
But the reason why they ban these things is because there's contraindication with pharmaceutical drugs. It's not necessarily, it's more to do with, as I say, the interaction or the contra-interaction with them. And it's not that they're bad in themselves, it's just that pharmaceuticals can't guarantee if you're taking a herbal supplement that there's not going to be. So it's really just to sort of cover their own arses.
Yeah. Do you know, the funny thing is as well, Trish, a couple of years ago, a friend of mine, Victor, he had a health shop here in Stockholm, and I was coming down with a bad dose of a cold or a flu.
Oh, I remember you telling me about him.
Yeah, and he said to me, he goes, Martin, I can see you don't look too well, and it looks like you've got the flu coming on. And I was like, yeah, this fucking, it feels like I'm in for a shitty weekend of it. And he goes, take this, and he gives me this bottle of this stuff. I can't remember the name of it. I think it was called like alfalfa or something. It was like the father of herbs. But it looked like kind of an orange cordial, and it was in a silver wrapper.
Did you say there was something like goldenrod in it or something like that?
Oh, I don't know what was in it, but literally seconds after taking it, I start breaking out in what I felt like was a rash, and I started getting tingles in my face. And he goes, "Oh," I said, "Geez, what the fuck is that you just give me, man? I feel a bit weird." And he goes, "Oh, that's normal. That's a niacin flush, and it's flushing your capillaries out." And sure enough, I went in on Monday and I was like, that stuff was brilliant, man. I ended up not coming down with the flu. Yeah. And I go, why isn't anyone using this? And he goes, well, you can't, because it's if anyone claims that this works against these kind of things, you know, you get shut down.
Now you just touched on an interesting thing there. How is it that if I went out and said, I've just found the cure for cancer, I found something in the garden and I know it works, I would be castigated from my community. Like many people who've made claims about vaccines, for example, I'm not going to go into that, but who've made claims and they've had their doctor's license revoked. Okay, another story. But how is it? Okay, like if you look at California, for example, they have the toughest laws for people that allege for cures for things. Okay, and yet you have somebody like a certain man who has a really shitty fucking computer company come out and basically, you know, no medical degree, nothing, and tell the world what they should be taking, what they should be imbibing or having injected into their body. Now, why is that allowed? Why isn't he hauled before, you know, the councils in California and beyond, you know, for what like snake oil charmsman? Okay, because he's no better or worse. You know?
Well, look, at the end of the day, he has the money to set up the third world with infrastructure to end poverty and hunger if he wanted to, but he's more obsessed with these things, that these intravenous remedies.
Yeah.
And it kind of like that in itself.
Because doesn't it make so much sense to take a relatively healthy body with a normal immune system and inject them with things like polysorbate 80, thiamerosal, aluminium, monkey cell,
Jesus,
aborted fetal cells. I could go on and on and on and on.
What good is aluminium? It's a fucking alloy. It's not even a part of the periodic table in terms of naturally found.
Well, it's all preservatives, isn't it?
Yeah, and how much of that shit jumps the blood-brain barrier as well?
What?
And how much of this shit jumps the blood-brain barrier?
Well, it all does, doesn't it? I would imagine. You know?
I just can't understand how people.
You know, this is what people don't realise. Okay, imagine how sensitive our bodies are. If I was going to take some prescription medication, often they'll say you're not to eat even a grapefruit because grapefruit is such a detoxifier.
Yeah.
So you think that, and then you go and then you put one of those wonderful contraptions into the vein of a human being, and wait and see what happens. You know, and again, like I could take a paracetamol and be okay. You could take one and have an allergic reaction. So it's this one size fits all is a crock of shit.
Well, look how, for example, myself and yourself would react to nickel.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like your earlobe was split because it just melted through the skin.
It's really toxic nickel. It shouldn't be allowed in any jewelry, but it gets through under the radar. Yeah,
you see, there's loads of this stuff. As Graham Russell said, this channel will be shut down after this spicy chat. Yeah, and they have, like, I know for a fact I'll probably get a notification saying that it's been demonetized. Probably will.
You're onto something then, aren't you?
Yeah, well, sure. Like about a couple of months ago, I don't know if it was bot accounts that was taken off, but after one night of talking to John O'Kearns about some certain topics, my subscriber count, I lost like 800 subscribers in one night.
Yeah, well, I think what the thing is just to be careful about keywords you use.
Yeah, because it's all automated now.
Yeah. You just have to circumvent it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be more loquacious.
It's easy done for the good folk who can read between lines.
Yeah, you know, I think basically when you look at Twitter as a barometer of human activity, it doesn't represent what people on the ground, like when you go back to like if you look at a lot of Irish people on Twitter, man, they're fucking or English people, like they're sleeping. They're you know, and then you go down to Mayo.
And the thing is, it's a very reason why I'm not on it. Because why do I want to listen to their shit?
It actually puts you in bad form. I was on it the other day, Trish.
And depress the shite out of myself.
Yeah, I was on it the other day, and I just felt fucking depressed. I was like, Jesus, it's so.
Get out into the countryside. Go and get some fresh air. You know, do something with the time that you've spent looking at that cack.
Take the hairy lad for a run, even.
Do Do you know, it's just, honestly, I've really started to see this. I mean, you know me anyway, I just don't do any mainstream media because I just think it is beyond stupid.
It's actually funny enough when you watch it now. It's like, whoa, what the, you know? I'm so.
I mean, really, are you kidding? I mean, has humanity regressed so much that they believe the shit that the you know, certain state-funded company in this country, you know, pumps into the houses, and by the way, makes people fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're harbourers of nonsense.
Of course they are harbourers of nonsense. You just need to look at one of the statues outside the building. I did it in art last year.
Isn't it like a dude with a naked boy or something?
Yeah, Eric Gill. Look at that. Look into that, but they won't remove it. Yeah, of course they won't. I mean, it's just, and on it goes. But you know what? Pull yourself out of it. No one's forcing you to listen to Twitter at the moment. They may do at some points. You know, nobody's forcing you onto social media to look at. But I will say, the interesting thing is, I do on Facebook follow the main broadsheets, and what's really interesting is the comments that people are going like, what the fuck now? Too late. But you know, they're starting to realise that actually we've been fucking had for years.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're basically against monolithic institutions that have absolutely everything at the disposal.
Yeah.
It's
David and Goliath, isn't it?
Yeah, Daniel Hertzler here says social media has removed the sense of real human interaction. Absolutely. The shit people will say on social media, they'd never say to someone in person. The world's gone rude and classless. That's that's an excellent point. It was like last year I found.
It's a keyboard warriors who, as he said, you know, they safely from the comfort of their little homes. You know,
it's like road rage in a car.
Maybe it's just some sort of weird dopamine hit.
Well, it's structured that way. It's like.
Improved, haven't they? So the difference between dopamine and serotonin is serotonin you get if you achieve something really good, like, you know, I finish a painting or I've done something that I'm really proud of, or even come back and have an exercise. Dopamine is that like that you get on social media or Instagram, or it's, you know, it's alcohol, all the bad things. Or this is what I think anyway. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But,
no, it makes sense.
But, yeah. And it's a complete dopamine hit. It's a cycle of dopamine. Every time you get your hit, you get whatever it is, or you get a reaction even on social media. And a lot of these people, you know, they fuck all else to do with their lives. It's really desperate. Anyway, there we go.
No, but it makes it. You make a very valid point.
And it's easy done because it's comfortable, and humans strive for comfort. And that's why we're kind of in the position that we're in. Slightly, it's like nobody wants to rock the boat because, well, for one, you know, to rock the boat in this day and age, you risk losing your livelihood. And we are the only species that pays to survive or to live on this planet.
Well, you know, it's funny because I myself recently I've just come to a conclusion where I just feel like fucking completely opting out of the system. I realize that we're all. I think for many of us, the game.
You see, the thing is, right. So it's difficult because you kind of need that social platform for what you do.
Yeah.
So you can't. But look, there's a really, really interesting guy that you should follow on Facebook. His name's Mark Malone. Lovely fella from Birmingham originally. Now lives in California, in the hills of California.
Yeah.
So he basically does statistics for the likes of Google.
Yeah.
Bright guy. And he is, have a look later, and all the guys listening, he's a really interesting guy to listen to. But what he sort of says is, you know, use this technology to your advantage. So you use it as a social platform, okay? Good. Mm-hmm. You continue that, but then cut out anything that isn't serving you. So, you know, you hate Twitter, you know it's full of shit. So cut it out. It doesn't serve you in any positive way. You know?
Yeah, and another good comment there from Mikey and Higgins. God created the earth, so why does the government rent it off?
Exactly.
And look, I mean, at the end of the day, look, when you see, at the end of the day, you've got Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You don't want to comfort, heat,
Yes.
security, to be fed, and then like in most of us in our day successfully achieve these prerequisites for that hierarchy of needs, and then we're held to standards of where we see other people, especially in the TV and media industry. You're looking at people who are like, they're just you know that a lot of them are on the same, if not some people I think definitely have a Kruger-Dunning syndrome, where someone who basically they can do what most people can do, but they think because they can do it that they have some sort of God-given extraordinary beliefs and opinions.
Well, say that. Explain it. That sounds really fascinating.
It's called the Kruger-Dunning effect. So basically what you'll have is people who are very well informed or very talented, and certain things that they undertake they can do with ease, and they think because they can do it with ease that anybody can do it, so therefore they don't. And it happens to artists and creative people who are very, very good at what they do, but they think everyone else can do it, and they're not very good at self-promotion. And as the old,
that's really interesting. I love the sound of that.
yeah, well, you know the way they say empty vessels make the most noise.
Yeah.
They're usually the fuckers who get ahead in life because they're like, look how great I am, look how great. And then you're a casual observer who's basically following the herd goes,
There could be links there with spectrum disorders, because that's often associated with theory of mind, isn't it? So basically these people think that, no, it's the opposite really, isn't it? Well, the opposite, because they think that, oh no.
Well, look at how a mob of people works. As Edward Bernays, when he studied, yeah, but basically, and this is what kind of social media feeds into is
another guy that people might be interested in listening to. Sorry to interrupt you there, but a guy called Alan Watts.
Oh yeah, Alan Watts. Yeah.
I was listening to like a 4-hour thing of his yesterday. Really, I've never heard of him until recently.
The guy from the 60s.
Well, he's still alive.
Are you on about? There's two of them. There's Alan Watt, and then
I think you're thinking of a different one. But this guy called Alan Watts, he's a Scottish guy.
Yeah, and he's got a beard and wears a hat.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen him. He was the one who said he's talking about like how football teams were basically designed for keeping the morale up of the working class.
I've always instinctively known that, haven't you?
Yeah, but you see that the nature of large sporting events is to satire that feeling of discontent and tribalism, and so it's like when you go to a metal concert, and then it's a controlled. It basically it's a release valve for.
It's to control mass testosterone.
Yeah, exactly. It's a simulated environment where you can release those kind of primal.
Well, this is the trouble with games and young men today. So when they're gaming, okay, they've got that flood of adrenaline, but they're physically not going anywhere with that.
Yeah.
If you get an adrenaline rush, you either run or you fight.
Yeah, fight or flight.
Yeah, okay. But that's not happening. So you've got this flood of adrenaline that's got nowhere to go. So it creates, it distorts, firstly, and then secondly, it creates a fucking chemical imbalance in your body, or the body of these prepubescent or pubescent boys who are watching, primarily as boys, and they're watching in these games, and they can't understand, so they become really aggressive introverts. Well, it's all by design. It's all by design to keep we all know how society just doesn't promote the strong male anymore.
No, it doesn't. And it's nice to hear a woman with that point of view, because that's not a popular opinion among pseudoscience. It's like
it's not a popular opinion at all. Like that shit. Who gives a fuck?
Exactly. Well, you know what? It seems, all this shit about like toxic masculinity. This is pure fucking pseudo-scientific bollocks.
So do people not believe in toxic femininity? Because I know probably more toxic females than I do men.
Yeah.
One can't exist without the other. So if you have that, you have to have the other. It's just a balance.
Well, if you ask me, my opinion is the neutering of working class males. I think that basically comes to.
Sorry. So speaking of toxic femininity, I've just eaten all of poor H's crevettes.
What's a crevette?
One of those fancy prawns.
Ooh. No, but I think basically.
You go for it. I've got to go on my bike, kids, haven't I?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, look, I'll let you go, Trish. But it was a really interesting conversation, and yeah, we should do a podcast sometime. Just have this chat. Maybe tomorrow evening.
I liked all the comments from your sensible little friendies.
Yeah, it's such a fucking nice group of people in the chat. You know, they're
That's
good.
what you got to do. Surround yourself by people who are on your sort of wavelength, in your frequency.
Yeah, exactly. They're a good bunch of people. They get it, man. They're not. They're
Yeah, they do.
But the thing is, look, Trish, as I said, I could make a lot of money and make a lot of fucking publicity, and I get mainstream media asking me for my hot take on certain subjects, parroting the consensus. But much like yourself, I don't want to go.
That will happen there, and then you'll be that bitch forever.
Exactly. And they use money.
No real opinion, like a Jed would.
Yeah, exactly. There's these people who have their nice, comfortable, and there's certain podcasters out there who, they're doing very, very well, but they're basically repackaging the narrative given from people at fucking Davos and World Economic Forum.
Lovely old expression, Martin, selling your soul to the devil. That didn't come from nowhere, did it?
At the Faustian Pact.
What's that, your Faustian Pact?
Do you know what? Ross O'Lalia says, could listen to Trish all day. Gas woman and extremely talented artist.
Oh, isn't he lovely?
Yeah.
I like it. Tell him he can come and visit.
You can come and visit.
But, come and visit. Listen, I'm going on my bike ride.
Yeah, thanks very much for stopping. Right, take care, Trish. Good luck. Bye. So there you have it. You got to hear from yes, and my sister. Sometimes, I do go into the territory. I mean, I've noticed that the average viewing time or the amount of viewers watching this is 10. And I know people it's lunchtime, it's work and whatnot. It's I should have been doing shit myself, so I'm playing catch up now. But the thing is, you have to ask uncomfortable questions, and you have to, like I say, I would rather know an uncomfortable truth than a comforting lie, because at least you know where you stand with the truth. And I think Gunche still there, boy. And I think it's important for people to go against the grain, swim upriver, and you'll find after a while, if you believe what you come to learn as being true, and nobody else believes it, just because other people ridicule you and they don't believe you, it doesn't mean that they're right. And you'll find that if you come to your own conclusion and you genuinely do use pattern recognition and discernment, and you stay rigid in your opinions, and I'm obviously not rigid as in being closed-minded, but if in fact what you believe to be true is truth, then you will be ridiculed for it. And it's an uncomfortable place to be when you're at the cutting edge of something that is that most people are encouraged to stay away from. And you'll find that after a while, people will start taking heed. And then, those people, whistleblowers and people like that, who, as the old saying goes, in the empire of lies, truth is treason. And you don't know where to stand if you're not living by the truth. And we're living in a post-truth world, and that's my fucking hot take on the issue. And fair play to you all. I mean, most of you guys who follow this, it's comedy, it's music, and then there's a bit of like deep chat as well. So it is what it is. It's Maloney's Digest at the end of the day. But thanks very much you all for sticking around. You're a sound bunch, man. You're a sound bunch. And as Graham Russell would say, the 730, it is a workhorse. One day I will hopefully own my own 730, and me and Frenchie can cruise around and just look around Garston, Toxteth, Croxteth, Norris Green, Bootle, City Centre, and maybe go for a nice breaded chicken filet burger in Jamie Carragher's sports bar down by the number 1 centre. So it's all good, mate. So thanks very much for sticking around, and we will see if this gets demonetized or if I get some sort of, the crack. All right, I'll try and get another one done tomorrow evening if I can as well. But until then, chat to you soon and have a lovely day. Good luck and God bless.